Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. He's the Republican congressman from Texas and host of the podcast Hold These Truths, Dan Crenshaw. And she is an ABC News contributor and former DNC chair, Donna Brazile. All right. Let's get to the questions that the people want to know. They want to know, what do you make of the split in MAGA? Is there a Republican civil war brewing? Well, there certainly is big disagreements. I mean, you know...
I've been fighting the Civil War for a long time, you know, pointing out the atrocities and the grifting of people like Tucker Carlson. And now, there's a lot more people obviously realizing that. Some of us had to be first across the beachhead and take all the bullets. But I like that we're having that Civil War. It's not new, you know, as you think about it, back in the day, Buckley versus the Birch Society. It's similar. It's grievance politics, it's populist politics, it's not conservative politics, and we need to root it out. At least I love that we're having that battle. It's a battle against the influencers that are pay to play. It's a battle against the companies they use, cutouts. It's also a battle against the podcast grift too. People getting their news from this stuff, and I'm glad people are waking up to it. It's also
about integrity, isn't it? You lost your job because you wouldn't say the 2020 election. Right?
I know you're being kind when you say that, but that's not what one person was saying going in. And this goes back to the podcast grift and like the social media grift. The people were going into that voting booth thinking I was worth millions of dollars from insider trading. It was wild. People were getting, Democrats spent about almost $1 million on attack ads on me.
But you said the 2020 election,
alcohol-related incidents. Like, it was, yeah, I mean, I did say that.
You said the 2020 election was legitimate.
Yeah, of course I said that.
Okay,
but that didn't
take
come
the
up in my election.
And
no, like I said, I know you
trying to give me props.
But I want to write my own. But Bill, I got to write my own history. Like I want people to know the truth about what happened. Not one person was going in there thinking you're not with Trump. Me and Trump have a great relationship. It had nothing to do with this, and that election had nothing to do with it. Also, I've had elections since then. Remember? Like, it just hasn't, that wasn't a factor. And I know you're being kind by, like,
Trump didn't come after you for that?
Truth teller. When has Trump made it a secret of congressmen he doesn't like? When does he kept that a secret? No, if he doesn't like you, you know it. So it just didn't come up. I mean, I'm in a unique position because my name is clickbait. And I fight back, right? People make up crap about me, and I might tweet back at them. You know, and I might say the word fuck or something like that. And people are like, well, we don't like that. I'm like, I thought you said you didn't want politicians. I was in Navy SEAL a lot longer than I was a politician.
You can't be a politician now without saying the word fuck.
Well, I mean, that's... So, it creates this cottage industry. It's a unique case, but I want people to know what actually happened.
Okay, Senator Fetterman, men are nearly twice as likely as women to be living with their parents in the current financial climate. How do we help young men? Wow, twice as likely.
Whoa. Oh, right now I'm not really running for anything right now, and I'm just saying. But not, you know, what exactly? I mean,
men are. I mean, we hear this all the time that young men are in crisis. That women are doing better in college.
Well,
they're doing better.
I mean, well, without a doubt, though, you know, there's part of the Democratic Party became more and more anti-men, or describing that they were part of the problem, or they have toxic traits, and for those things. And that's why there's been such a big migration away from the Democratic Party from young men, and that's really why why we lost in 2024. Now, if you identify anyone as the problem or blame them for some things, then you're going to lose. We forgot that we are in the business of addition, not subtraction. I mean.
So we have,
So there was a testosterone shift in 2024. I don't think that's a long-term trend. I think it was a very short-term generational shift that we're experiencing within the Democratic Party. Overall, look, I've been a part-time college professor for 33 years. There is something going on with young men in our country. They are reticent. Many of them are holding back, and we need to address that. But at the same time, holding back because sometimes I think they don't know their place anymore, and that's something that men need to decide and discuss. But as a woman, for years, decades, centuries, women had to be overconfident just to appear qualified. So I don't want men to think that the reason why young men are suffering is because some woman. No, young men are dealing with what young women had to deal with centuries ago. You'll find your place at the table. Come sit with me sometime. I'll get you some help.
Well, we're not saying that,
Trust me, Bill, let me tell you something. You grew up in the Brazile household. My mom used to say, Cheryl, Sheila, Donna, Tater, Chet, Lisa, Dimitri, Kevin, Zola, get your asses up.
I think that's the way to do it.
And everybody had to get their ass up.
Yes,
My
right.
brothers had to get up and make up the bed. The sisters had to make up the bed. The brothers put out the trash.
Right.
The sisters, they washed. We didn't have one of these. The boys do this and the girls do this. The only thing my daddy used to tell the girls, don't let no naked baby dolls in the house. Don't ask me why, but he didn't like naked baby dolls. And I told him, I don't mind either because Barbie had nothing going on and Ken had absolutely nothing going on. So it was fine with me.
You mean they were not anatomically correct?
Whatever. You know it. Smart man.
No, I'm
Smarty pants.
I'm with you on. I'm not a fan of gentle parenting. I mean, right? You're saying you didn't have gentle parenting, and that's. It seems to be more acceptable to say that in the black community than the white community, to be able to say, yes, my parents whooped me, and then that's okay. But when the white people say it, boy, they get pissed. People get pissed.
White liberal community. I mean,
Yeah, the white liberal community.
What's the
Right.
difference between white liberals and white conservatives? What's the deal?
No, that is
the difference would be there's a cultural
Yes,
difference
there
in like
is.
how you would raise kids. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I grew up in a black conservative household. Seriously.
Well,
we went to church.
But we have the same
prayed.
opinions, it seems
I think-
like, on raising kids. So that's what I'm.
Well, that means that we're colorblind, huh?
Yeah,
No.
pretty good.
Good for you.
I am colorblind and half real
And
blind.
look, I'm coming to your house and don't serve me nothing but steak. I'm with you. I don't want that bio shit. I don't want that bio shit. I don't want no shit that's been created in the laboratory. If you can pick it and sear it, I don't want it.
We've lost the vote. You talk to any of the traditional union members that are men. We've lost them a long time ago. I've witnessed that migration away from the Democratic Party starting back in 2016. We absolutely have a problem in that part of the demographic. So we really have to find a way to bring them back and make better arguments without blaming them or describing they are the problem.
And if I could wheel this over to the war, because it is somewhat related, because I hear a lot of things now. I know you're against the war. We have two people.
Don't say that.
You're not. The Iran war?
Oh, that war?
Yeah. Which one are we talking about?
There's so many going on. I didn't know which one you were
that's the
talking
main
about.
one that we're have
All
going
right,
on
well,
now.
okay, because there are a lot of them. But let me just say this. You want me to speak? No, let him speak first. I'm going to tell you something.
Well, only because
The Ayatollah was not a fan of us.
No.
The Iranian regime was not a fan of their neighbors. And so I believe that the precise war that we're fighting now is one without a strategy and one without an end game and one that is costing us more than just American lives.
Yeah, that may be the case.
Every single Democrat has said we can't ever let Iran build a bomb. And then every single president, when Kamala Harris was running for president, she identified that as the top concern for her international. And then finally, we did something about that, and I absolutely support that thing. And for me, now I think it shouldn't be controversial as a Democrat to say, look, we don't have to agree every aspect of Epic Fury, but I do think we should all agree that here we are at the cusp. Hold them accountable and remind them they are the bad guys. We are not the bad guy. And I'm absolutely convinced, too, the Democratic contempt for Trump exceeds the concern of the anger towards Iran. And that's why that's pushed us into, we've lost the entire, and it used to be standing behind the military, regardless behind everything. That's become bipartisan. It's lost being bipartisan.
Yeah, we can disagree on whether.
Well, let's back it up to strategic objectives, saying every president believes that Iran should not have a nuclear bomb. We don't want another North Korea. That is a strategic objective. Okay, we did Midnight Hammer. We bombed their nuclear facilities. What do they try to do? They keep trying to rebuild them. They start rebuilding and producing more and more missiles. So many more. This is why, by the way, we had to go in when we did, that we were not going to be able to start intercepting all of them. And so those strikes had to begin. And like, what strategy does everyone prefer? Boots on the ground? Is that what everybody wants?
No.
So, because what their strategy is now is beat them into submission. You know, we don't live in the 1970s. Iran thinks we do. We live in a time when we have energy independence. So yeah, there's a cost to us, but it is not near what the cost it imposed on the Iranian regime right now. And the blockade and its effectiveness has been massive as well. Iran is acting desperate. They just attacked UAE last night. They attacked a bunch of our destroyers. Nothing got through because we have already adapted to that drone warfare age. And the Iranians are now desperate. They're going to run out of their ability to even store the oil that they're producing. That's going to be a massive problem for them. So the blockade is a strategy. It's a strategy to get to the negotiating table and be reasonable. And what's reasonable is our demands. And if you don't like it, we'll keep bombing you.
But while we undertake this strategy, what happens is they're running out of jet fuel.
We are? We're fine.
Other countries are.
That's their problem.
What?
We're not.
No,
We're not.
No,
we're not.
That's terrible.
Okay, well,
Not only is it terrible, they're
first of
running out
all,
of jet fuel.
first of all,
They're running out of
fuel is
fertilizer.
fungible, as you know. Fuel is fungible.
We're down about 10 million barrels a day.
Okay.
20 million a day come out of the Straits of Hormuz. We're down about 10 million because
Okay.
the world can adapt. Because we did the operation in Venezuela. We get more barrels out of that. Texas produces a lot more. We don't live in the 1970s anymore. Again, I know that other countries are locking down in very serious ways.
But it's
we
not
are
just it's just at the jet fuel. It's a lot of stuff around the world that this is affected by. And I don't know how we are actually going to get this Strait of Hormuz opened again.
Nobody said
I have an
there's not
idea. We send in the
short-term
cruise
costs.
ships with the hantavirus. Deal with that, Iran. Everybody will part ways.
Eventually
we
you
want
have
the
to accept
ceasefire
the
to
law.
hold, but we, at the same time, we want to make sure that the United States come out of this conflict with not only the ability to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but also the ability to rebuild the bases in the Middle East and to rebuild our alliances. We are losing
We have solidified the Gulf Arab states against Iran. Like the alliances are literally stronger than ever.
We have to make sure Iran cannot build a nuclear bomb.
We all agree on that.
If they become a nuclear state, they are untouchable in the region. 100%. And if now they think you can control this strait now, imagine if they are nuclear power, then they could really maintain that control absolutely, pay whatever that they
We had a
demand.
But I
framework
still
and that
don't
was
see
destroyed.
how you are going to
was
get the
unverifiable.
nuclear material unless you go in and occupy that mountain under which it is.
Yeah, it's an option. I mean, look, all these options are on the table.
Okay,
Another
but-
option is we always know when someone is going there, and every time someone does, we bomb it. I mean, that's also an option, right? So what we've done is decimated their conventional military, which is the outer ring of security for their nuclear program. And we can pretend that like any kind of deal, but it was unverifiable. It didn't count for military bases. It gave them money before we were able to verify anything. It wasn't a good deal to begin with. The only language these people speak is deterrence and strength because they speak the language of martyrdom. They will take pain like no one else.
Yes.
That's
but
right.
but it's not infinite. And what we're doing is
Well, it's never for the
way more pain.
leadership. They're always for martyrship for others.
Yeah.
They never have to do it.
Right.
They'll strap this.
We've made them do it pretty recently.
Yeah. well,
So we've changed the dynamic,
Right.
and we've effectively countered with strategic deterrence and reestablished that deterrence. And yes, there's short-term costs, but it's long-term stability, and we can't keep kicking the can down the road and impose longer-term costs.
Okay, final question, because this show airs on CNN as of a couple of years ago. What is the legacy of Ted Turner, who died this week? What has the impact been of the 24-hour news cycle? Well, he certainly was one of the giants of broadcasting.
Visionary.
Because before Ted Turner and before CNN, we did not have 24-hour news. Now, I mean, sometimes there isn't news for 24 hours.
Right.
So every time I see breaking news, I'm a little skeptical.
He brought the. I
But-
think Mr. Turner, he was able to let us see the world. I mean, I was a fan of CNN even before I got hired by CNN.
Me too.
And I still love CNN. I mean, in the middle of the night, I love to watch CNN during my bathroom breaks. You figure that one out.
I think I know.
Where's the TV?
Opinions have become actual real news. And
Yeah.
we've lost the ability. Like opinions are not news.
Right.
And there are so many shitty takes out there in the world now. Like, why are people still talking about Tucker Carlson? Or any of these people. Now, even Alex Jones now is back. You know, I have to see that asshole in my feed anymore. You know, why? Because if they are criticizing Trump, it's like now sometimes we in the Democrats say, well, maybe they have a point. You know, MTG Crazy Pants. Why are we keep hearing about her now?
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm saying, it's like, you know, like focusing on real news and the real dynamic there. You know, I'm so tired of if opinions have become news. And now there's countless ones,
Right,
and it's all become slop.
And let me just make the point. This is a this is an entertainment show.
It says real.
On an
The title.
It is. Yeah. Because it's a lot more real than that other shit, let me tell you.
The senator's absolutely right. I mean,
No,
the
the opinions have
problem
become
is,
the
though, the
news.
American people need to learn to distinguish between opinion
Right,
and fact.
but this is an
And that's not
entertainment
happening.
network and an entertainment show. It deals with
Of course.
news as
Of course.
comedy fodder and also gives opinions. And by the way, they are realer than the other bullshit. But that's different. I am a fantasy man, but I agree. It's too much opinion. I would rather just, when CNN was first out there, you could just
Journalists.
always count on to turn it on,
Yes.
and you would just get the story.
Get the news. Get the
Get the
facts.
news.
They
That's what
but
I
they won't
want.
make money that way.
That's
we all
right.
know that. You're
If it
you're in the
bleeds, it
business.
leads.
Well,
We
You
know
won't
that.
make money that way.
Well-
So that's the whose fault is this?
News
It's the-
organizations
The people
shouldn't
have to change what they want to incentivize.
News
that's what we
organizations
can do
shouldn't be
now.
making money to begin with. They didn't used to. They didn't used to have to. All right, but we do. I gotta go. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.